God. Guess I blacked out or something. Okay, time to continue on. Story. When I came to, I was in an unfamiliar place. Gray painted walls, small windows, and one of them, one expectantly blind table. Great. It was an interrogation room. I sat there, alone for the good part of an hour, before actual human life entered the room with me. Now my memory is a bit hazy at this point, so I'll try to sum up the conversation as best as possible. The officer had said, "You're done. It's done. Your son didn't survive. Deepest sympathies to you and your family. You've not been proven guilty, but the evidence leans towards it. Further investigation must be held. You will be brought back home, but you will be under constant supervision," and so on and so forth. I was driving home in the back of a police cruiser last time I was there, with a high school. Last time I was there was in high school when I vandalized. When vandalism was a cool thing to do. I was welcomed with open arms for still sobbing wife from my sobbing wife and my emotionless son. Going back wasn't easy. Thankfully, we didn't have to stay long. The police explained that we were going to stay at a hotel for a few days. We gathered our things when a picture from the fridge caught my eye. It was a picture my late son drew. When I saw it, my heart nearly stopped. In the cutest crayon drawings you can imagine, was my son standing to a tall, faceless man in a black suit. I made sure no one was around to see me stuff the picture into my pocket. The hotel was what you would normally expect. Simple wallpaper, 2 twin beds, 1 TV, cheap flowery design on everything else. It would have been to do since we were stuck there. We settled in, placing out our stuff and lying down. I, on the other hand, went to the bathroom. The only place I knew was private. I locked the door, took the picture out of my pocket, and skewered the page for clues, but to no avail. All there was a crude drawing of his name, scribbled into the bottom corner. The thing that unnerved me the most was the fact that the slender man had no face, no identity, not a single outstanding feature. It rattled me to the core, but I had enough stress from today. The night was rough, but I still managed to. Not a single dream of the Slenderman. Either a banging came from the door, bringing half asleep the whole time. It scared the shit out of me. I turned on my light. 5:14 a.m. Heads were going to roll. I dragged myself out of bed, very slowly opened the door. It was the police officer that drove us here. He had a look of panic on his face. He said my son was missing. Nothing clicked. It took me a minute to wake up and grasp the reality again. My son's body was missing, snatched right from the hospital. This time, I knew where he was. I had to get back to the forest. I had to find the remains of my suit. It was the only way to stop the Slenderman. But I knew it wasn't going to be easy. I had asked the police officer if he can drive me back to my house, as I said forgotten something. He pondered a moment, and obliged. This time, it had been allowed to sit in the passenger seat. The ride there was quiet. I tried to get some sleep. He didn't start any conversations. When we got there, I wasn't careful to make sure no one else saw me. I entered the house, though, the front door. Quickly escaped out the back, headed for the forest. It was still very dark. Also, transferring the heavily wooded area was not easy. The only light that came through was that of the moon. So I walked almost blind, hoping to find some scrap of my suit. It seemed to be impossible. To outmist darkness, I saw a scrap of paper. The white of it stood out like a sore thumb. I leaned down to pick it up, and when I turned around, what I saw completely horrified me. It was another drawing of my son, with both him and the Slenderman. But with one difference. There was 3 other people. A boy the same height as him, and older looking girl. Another boy as big as the girl. Then it dawned on me. It was us. My family. My son drew us in the picture. Drew us in with Slenderman. Then I saw a beam of light. It's a police officer. I ran up to him and showed him the picture. Explained that my family was in great danger, and he told me there's nothing there he can do. He said we should go back to the car. He would go back to the hotel. A million thoughts ran through my head. Should I concede? Should I resist? What I did next is peanuts compared to what was about to unfold. But I didn't know. And looked back, I didn't want to. I gave in to the police officer's request and began to head back to the car. Well, he had his back towards me. I picked up a fair six stone and brought it down upon his head. He staggered a bit and fell to the ground. I took the car keys from him and ran towards the car. It was so dark. It was still dark. I needed to get back to the hotel. I screeched to an immediate halt in the hotel parking lot, ran towards the door where we were staying. I swung open the door, and to behold, the one thing I was trying to prevent. It missed. All the blood painted the room with 3 bodies, making a circle around the Slenderman. He turned and looked at me. His hollow, non-existent eyes stared deep into me. Emotions I had never felt before. Emotions with names filled my brain and body. It was like he was making me feel everything he ever had. And with an outstretched hand, he said only one thing that would be burnt into my black mind forever. Help me. Sirens came from behind me. I turned around to see the police cruiser pull into the parking lot and watched them get out using car doors as shields with their guns aimed at me. I raised my hand above my head and slowly looked behind myself to see the Slenderman fade to nothing, leaving only a tattered suit in a heap on the floor. He killed my family. My life would never be the same, and yet something told me I was never going to see him again. I would never be able to exact revenge, even if I figured out how to. Everything up until the white padded walls isn't exactly clear to me. I've been told that after they saw me at the hotel with my DNA on the suit, I was made primary culprit. After they arrested me and subjected me to feverishly testing to which they got nothing more than an unlegible noise. I was submitted to this place, the white padded walls. The same white padded walls I see all day, every day. No one will know what happened to me and my family, the emotions that were broadcasted to me, because me to lose my ability of speech. Now all I can do is write and draw. I write out the emotions that the Slenderman felt. I draw the emotions. Sometimes I feel like I have become him, like we are the same being. That day I learned something. We were slender.